Hey everyone, happy 2024 and welcome back. It's been a while since I've done a podcast style video, and I'm probably going to go ahead and upload this video as a podcast because I really want to get my podcast restarting. So, one thing you might notice difference behind me, studio looks totally different. I am going through and renovating this space, and what's going on is over the past year or so, I have actually discontinued my crafting business. I have stopped creating stuff for Etsy. I've stopped uploading to Society 6 because of their fee schedule that they implemented and taking away our royalty rates for the use of our images on their products. Discontinued out of wear because of the shipping costs out of Canada, which also Society 6 has started charging us designers for their shipping costs. And also Zazzle sales have been way down. Yeah, we're still in the midst of a recession, which actually has come to show. So yeah, the crafting business is going. So what I'm actually doing now is I have moved all my photos over to my own personal website. So this way here, you can go ahead and actually still find them purchasing. Website's got a little bit rebranded. So now it's focused more along the lines of the photography from my travels, road trips, and outdoor adventures. All the art that I had generated with my watercolors, all my acrylic paintings, all my inks generated art has all been deleted. I'm no longer selling those. I'm just getting back to focusing totally on my photography. So you can find those here and the different galleries where you can actually purchase them on different products. Down below that, I'll have my latest video that I posted and also links to my YouTube playlist. So my website is actually swphotography.com. I've also got two other domain names that are pointed to it. You can just choose scottherview.com and that'll redirect you to this site as well. So yeah, those are some of the things that we've got going on for 2024. A lot of changes. Just a lot of stuff has actually happened at the end of 2023, which I said I was not going to go into details. One of the things I want to discuss today is kind of been a trend that's going around. I usually do not follow trends when it comes to putting out YouTube videos and all that. You know me, I like to do my own thing. I like to focus on my own niche, which is the outdoor environment, whether that be camping, kayaking, some hiking. Haven't done hiking in a while. The weather, like today, is just, you don't want to be outside. I'm getting a lot of rain, everything's flooded. Matter of fact, my last video I put up was about the flooding in our area from a fourth storm. Got a fifth storm in the forecast. And today it's cold, windy, may get some snow squalls later. And just, yeah, the weather right now has just not been conducive to getting outside. No ice fishing. Any ice that started to develop was totally torn apart by the wind and the warm temperatures. So yeah, we're kind of stuck inside, which is why I'm redoing this space. But anyway, talking about trends. So one of the things I wanted to discuss that are going on about trends, and as you can see, I still need to get another camera. This thing just went to wide view, although I still must say, looks pretty good. Except for I may close that door in the future. But so, in regards to YouTube, one of the things going on is you see a lot of big YouTubers quitting. And unfortunately, the reason behind that partially has to do with the recession and partially has to do with burnout. So let's take the recession. A lot of YouTubers are seeing a decline in revenue. There's people that have made this their whole entire careers. And with the decline in revenue is the decline in AdSense. A lot of companies are cutting back on their advertising. Google has decided to cut back on the amount of actual revenue that the ads are paying. Even though they're still putting out ads, they're not paying as much to the creators for those ads to be displayed. Google's cut back on it. So if you've scaled up your YouTube channel and you have staff and this is like your only job, I get it. Why a lot of YouTubers are calling it quits or really scaling back. And one of the YouTubers comes to mind is Matt Devalia, or Devala. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. He was the guy who created this whole minimalistic and simplistic style YouTube channel. Has a lot of followers. He pretty much fired or laid off a lot of his staff, or most of them, and he cited two reasons: one, burnout, and two, cost. So let's say the revenue comes down from your ads and sponsorships. A lot of companies have cut back on sponsoring because of costs and everything, so they're not giving YouTubers a lot of sponsors. And I get it, because you have to send out a lot of products. So like if a new camera comes out, I have to send a copy of that camera to like 30, 40, 50 creators, which creates an expense on that. So, and then sometimes I have to pay them. So I get it as far as the cost goes. And let's break this down. Let's say I'm paying one of my employees $15 an hour, which basically is the minimum wage in a lot of states. So I know people get paid a lot more than that, but I'm just going to use simple terms here. So let's say I'm paying somebody $15 an hour. Then, depending on where I'm located, I have to take certain taxes out of their paycheck. So like federal income tax, state income tax, Medicare, Social Security, which I believe is also Medicare. You might have a city tax you have to take out, and all that stuff. So their net pay goes from, let's say, $15 an hour to $7 an hour. So now you got a person who's doing all this work for you and only getting paid $7 an hour. So what happens? You have to pay them more so that they can live because of the taxes being taken out. Then coupled with the fact that you're paying them more, so even though they're only seeing like $7 an hour, your expense is $15 an hour. But then let's say $3 an hour out of that is Social Security. Here in the United States, the Social Security tax, an employer has to match. So now that's $3 more per employee per hour that's coming away from the creator. So yeah, the recession has tied into it. But that's part of it. That's running a business, that's scaling it, which is why people make certain decisions. But let's also talk about the other reason, which is just plain burnout. So Matty Hapoya, Mark Devalia, or Devalia, if I'm pronouncing that right. I'm not in the gaming genre, but a lot of gamers also have decided that they're quitting YouTube or they're scaling back. Also, a lot of gardening channels and everything, and a lot of it has to do with burnout. So with the cost being part of it, if you have a staff, okay, so let's take a minute here and say, if you have a normal job, you're working, let's say 9 to 5, which is 8 hours a day, and you get paid for that. A YouTuber or a person who is self-employed in another industry like plumbing, HVAC, electrical, cabinetry, or whatever, they may be working more or less 12 to 14 hours a day. And that's between doing the actual job, running the business for the paperwork, all this other stuff. So let's stick to the creator sense. So for me to create a video, or any other creator, it may take a whole day or 2 days worth of filming to get the footage. Then I have to go through, sort out all that footage, put it on a timeline, color grade it so it looks good, edit it for the content that I want, which could take another 3 to 4 days. So I'm already up to 15 hours a day, like 6 days, 7 days, sometimes 8 days if I put out 2 videos a week. And these people who do this for a living, who have actually scaled their YouTube channel, that they're putting out daily videos, God bless them. That's a lot of editing, and it becomes 15 hours a day. And after a decade or so, that's a lot of time away from your family. It's a lot of time away from your friends and doing other things. So in a way, I get it that they're getting burnt out. Also, if I have a staff, so let's say I'm not doing all those other things, and I have a staff that is actually doing my editing, my paperwork, or whatever, and that just leaves me to filming. So I could probably get away with maybe a day or two of filming per video, say 8 to 16 hours, depending what I'm doing. The problem with that is I also have to oversee that staff. So if you're one of these employers or a boss that's a micromanager, where you have to be involved in every single aspect of it and just guiding every sort of the way, then yeah, you're going to be more hands-on and you're going to have a lot of time taken out. If you're one of these who kind of steps back and lets them have their own creativity, do their own thing, you still have to be involved to make sure that that product that they're putting out actually meets the branding that you want, the style of video that you want. So you still have to be on. So even though you might have cut back to 8 hours of filming, you're still putting in 10 hours a day just to oversee everything that everybody else is doing. So this is not something that is for the faint of heart. So which is why a lot of people are actually stepping back to once a week videos, or in the case of Matthew Posa, I think he's down to a video every month or two. I think it's been like 2 or 3 months since he's last posted a video on his channel. It's a lot. It's really a lot, and I can see why people get burnt out. Now, which leads me to my channel. I started doing YouTube back in its infancy. So once MTV pretty much stopped showing music videos and went to more of their little shows or whatever they do now, YouTube became a place for music. After the music videos started kind of running their course, is now where we see YouTube at, with the teaching. Became more of educational first, but now it's pretty much like its own cable TV kind of production thing with multiple channels, and you can watch pretty much wherever you want. So I started in 2010. I had a channel that was just my name. It had everything I ever did video wise out on it, between music videos I've done for a friend, my travel, my outdoors. I used to dabble in artwork with acrylic painting, watercolor, inks. I used to create crafts. It was not a niche channel. It had everything. I did that probably for a good 9 or 10 years until 2019, where I decided that I no longer want to have a mishmash everything type of channel, and my passion has always been the outdoors, and I want to focus on that. So I deleted that channel and I created this one, and it's now been almost another 5 years, so pretty much 15 years I've been doing something video wise. So that's a long time, but truthfully, sometimes, yeah, I get a little anxious and I can get a little frustrated if I don't have a video in the works, and I know it's been a few weeks. but I never got to the point of burnout. Reason being is I do not focus this channel on being the sole thing that I do. I have other interests. I take time for my family. I will take 2 or 3 weeks off like I did over the holidays. Actually, I took pretty much a month off because it was kind of a rough time. I had some things going on. As you know, I lost my four-legged adventure buddy. I wanted to take time for family and all that other stuff. I've never treated this where I was actually going to get to the point that if I don't put out a video, you know, I worry about subscribers. If I don't put out a video, you know, I'm worried about a lot of things. My camera's going absolutely crazy. I think I'm going to have to replace this camera shortly. It's going totally nuts now. But yeah, I've never treated this channel that way. So I've never got to the point of burnout. And I'm going to keep running this channel in a way that I do not get to the point of burnout. You know, I may post one video a week. I may post 2 videos a week. I may post a video every other week, depending on some of the topics I want to cover, what the weather outside is doing. I don't know if you heard that bang, but the wind is kicking up. So that's just a little bit of what I want to share today. Just to say that I'm not going anywhere, and I totally get why these big YouTubers are quitting. My thoughts on where this kind of leaves YouTube as a platform, since I used to have a TikTok channel. I deleted my TikTok. I even deleted my TikTok applications off my phone and iPad. A lot of people said I was crazy for doing it, but yeah, I do YouTube shorts on occasion, but at the time I got rid of TikTok, there was no way to make a revenue on it. A lot of it was kind of silly for my sense. I know a lot of people get a lot of joy out of it, and my wife scrolls TikTok heavily, but yeah, I just did not find TikTok as being a relative platform to my niche. Not sure if I'm going to reinvestigate that in the future as TikTok changes. Still don't know what's going on with Instagram. 1 minute they're photos, next minute they're videos and reels, next minute they're back to doing photos only, or focusing on photos and photography. So I don't know where Instagram is headed at this point, truthfully. So what do I think about the future of the YouTube platform? As these big YouTubers leave YouTube, I wonder if what's going to happen is if YouTube is going to turn around and start catering to the smaller channels as opposed to these bigger channels, as far as being able to monetize. Now, back when I started YouTube with my older channel, in the very beginning, you only had to have 10,000 views to get monetized and start earning revenue. And because of the acts of PewDiePie and a few others, they changed that and put strict guidelines out there where you had to have 1,000 subscribers and over 4,000 hours of watch time. And then they introduced shorts where you could actually get monetized with 10 million short views. I noticed over the past few months they started decreasing the requirements, where if you have 500 subscribers and you also have so many videos uploaded a month and so many views, you can get monetized a lot quicker. Not so much on the ad revenue sense, but you could do pretty much what's called supers, where people can donate to your channel. You can get more money by selling products through the YouTube links and such, and they're adding a whole bunch of other things. So I wonder if they're going to start creating to these smaller channels, which would be nice because there's a lot of smaller channels that I watch that produce great content. And for whatever reason, they just have not grown to the likes of, let's say, Peter McKinnon or Matty Poy or Casey Neistat did. Matter of fact, Casey Neistat, he quit daily blogging and pretty much quit YouTube years ago to move to California since back in New York and everything. But yeah, he's given up the daily stuff. So I wonder if YouTube is going to start catering more towards these smaller channels with different type of content, which would actually be, great for everyone. I say leave the strict guidelines in place when it comes to copyright certain content you put out, which is why a lot of people go into something called Rumble, which I have not, but I guess because of restricted or questionable content, they created this other platform where they can go ahead and do that. I haven't heard much about it lately, so I don't even know if it's even still a thing anymore. I think that if they go to catering towards the smaller creator, it would be a total great thing because there's a lot of great smaller creators out there. So anyway, that's just kind of my thoughts. I know it's a little bit of a ramble, but I figured this is something that probably I wanted to address because you might have questions about why I'm going through and making this a whole new studio space and what my plans are for 2024. I don't plan on stopping. I'm not going anywhere. I've never designed this to be a point where I'm going to get burnt out on it. There's a lot of places I would like to go if possible. If the weather ever clears up, I've also got a lot of other video ideas, which people have said they've run out of video ideas. I've been going strong since 2010 with 2 different channels. One doesn't exist anymore, and this one. So I don't believe I'm going to stop anytime soon, but I'm also not going to burn myself out in the process. So just a little bit of thoughts, just a little bit of what I see going on, what may come for 2024. YouTube has been a great place as far as creativity and sharing my passions with you, and I'm going to continue to make it actually that way. So yeah, let's hope the weather clears up shortly. I'm in a hurry for spring at this point because we have not had a winter. No snow, a lot of rain, a lot of flooding, a lot of mud, no ice for ice fishing, too cold to get the kayak out, too windy to get the kayak out. Hunting season this year, it's kind of a bust for me in a way. I had a chance at a couple deer, but unfortunately one of them was during archery season, and I did not take a shot at that deer because it would have been a running shot, which a running shot with an arrow and a lot of branches is kind of hard. Muzzleloader season, I did shoot a doe, but again, like last year, no blood trail, and I never did find her. And doing a lot of research, and I think it has to do with the actual bullets that I'm using, which I'm going to research, and a lot of people have suggested other types. So we're going to check into that, and we'll catch up with hunting during next hunting season. I went out for a small game in the beginning part of hunting season. Wasn't seeing much. A lot of the places that I would have gone were actually closed because of Triple E and the mosquitoes, and then they reopened it. The geese were just non-existent. They've migrated to different areas. It was late migration, never came to really my area and such. So yeah, so the hunting season's over. Fishing's kind of on hold right now. Camping, I don't get out and do any winter camping because I just don't have the gear to, although the weather would not make for a fun winter camping anyways. I'd be stuck in my tent or in my SUV because of the amount of rain we're getting and such. So probably for right now, the videos that are going to be coming up on my channel are going to be outdoors when I can get out, depending on the weather and other things that are going on. And also I'm going to do a little bit more of my rural living type things that I've kind of put on hold for a little bit. Haven't done too much of the rural living. So we'll see you next time around. And I hope you all have a good beginning to 2024. And I hope you all had a good Christmas, New Year's. And I'll do a reveal of the studio space once it's finished getting cleaned up, once I have everything all set up the way I need it to be. Still need to address what's going on with this camera right in front of me. This is actually an old GoPro 7 that I'm using that I don't take outdoors anymore because the waterproof door on it broke. So, but I have to kind of address the fact that it keeps switching from linear mode to widescreen on its own, which actually widescreen right now does not look bad except for the curvature and the circular fisheye look, but the fact that it just keeps flickering back and forth is a little bit annoying. So we'll see you next time.